Hey y'all, it's Xylo. This is my first video diary. I'm wearing my cute little bounce that booty like a basketball slash, which is an original, or um, I'm also going to make it into, I already made a Pink Pony Club video on my TikTok cover with this hat, but it's part of my costume for Bounce That Booty Like a Basketball, which is an original song. You can already listen to it on my YouTube. It's got a picture of my booty. And I'm going to be making a music video with a dance to go with it, and this is going to be part of the costume. So I'm wearing that, plus cute black shirt, plus, some pink pants. And I always just feel like a pop star when I put on pink and sequins. So that's what that outfit is about. I am excited to be making video diaries just to get some stuff off my chest, to vent, and I want to connect more with my audience. So yay, it's exciting to be on here with y'all again. I feel like today's might be kind of a long one because I've got a lot to get off my chest. But I'm just feeling really happy. Well, I'm not super happy because that's why I need to vent. So, trigger warning, there's going to be a lot of perhaps, and this is something I'm kind of working on, but also keeping it in my toolbox as a witch who doesn't always engage in like socially acceptable behaviors, quote unquote. Playing the victim, that's a content warning of playing the victim. I've said other places on my channel about how playing the victim may not serve my higher purpose and higher self, but I have noticed that in my specific living situation here at home with dad and sister, playing the victim can sort of look like expressing my truth and things that I really don't like and things that I want to change, and the ways that behaviors are negatively affecting me. And so that's like definitely getting into some of the things I want to talk about today. So content warning, it might seem like playing the victim, and as a general principle, my higher self, I'm kind of looking, I say kind of because again, I am a witch, so I do sometimes advocate for violence. I'm not totally a non-violent leftist. If you guys haven't seen that Andrea Dworkin, maybe I'll link it after editing. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Andrea Dworkin, who she advocates for violence against rapists. And Miss Peachkka, who is an artist I really like, has a song called Fertilizer, which is definitely not a non-violent song. I think it's in her song Fertilizer, which is saying, you should go listen to it. Maybe I'll drop a little bit about, or maybe I'll play a little bit of that song for you guys here. But in the song, she has a couple lines that are amazing. What is the song about? It's about pedophiles. We are so past anything legally being done to these pedophiles that are in power that she has some very violent ideas that I am in favor of. I am in favor of her violent ideas about what should be done with pedophiles. Take them out in the street and torture and kill them. So I agree with that. So that's just a sample. And Peachkka also identifies as a witch. So great stuff there. Definitely go like and subscribe to Peachkka's stuff. If you are also a witch who... and this is another lyric I wanted to share from that song, which is, love and light is for beginners, time to point out the real sinners. That's where I am getting into sort of a question, personal growth question. Oh shoot, my dinner's ready. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I'm just so excited to be here telling my story finally. I always feel best telling my story when my dad and sister are out of the house, which happens to be today. And my sister's leaving the house more and more often. She also works and I don't have a job yet. Meaning like a typical 9 to 5 where you work for someone else and you clock in. Where was I? Oh, I always feel most happy and safe to express myself. I've been wanting to do these video diaries when they are both gone, and my sister is increasingly leaving the house more and more, so that means more opportunities to do these awesome video essays. Yeah. Yeah, so that's where I was going to get with Peachkka's lyric, and it's interesting, and someday I want to know what Peachkka thinks about this, and others who have also pointed out the problems with the victim mentality and identifying as a victim and playing the victim. So this also kind of connects to 4 fingers pointed back. If you're saying you did this, you did that, there's 4 fingers pointed back. Where's the accountability for the other person, or that it takes 2 people to tango in a fight or a battle, right? So 4 fingers pointed back, but then so that's the like love and light. 4 fingers pointed back, love and light, right? Steven Universe, like saved by the power of friendship. I like that stuff. However, there's Andrea Dworkin, there's witches in general, and there's the violence that I'm interested in too, which is like we should point out the real sinners, which is what Peachkka says in her song. So I'm definitely done with always being the one to apologize first. In my relationship with my dad and my sister, it's not so good. Yeah, it's not so good. So I really do want to vent for a long time about that. So like strap in. Yeah. So I've been living at home for, when did I come back? 2024. It's 2026 now. So 2.5 years. I dropped out of my PhD program because I was getting panic attacks on the way to work and it just wasn't serving me. And I really wanted to pursue my dream of becoming a full-time artist and sugar baby, to be honest. I do follow and really enjoy Sheraseven's content and Reese Ireland's content. Both are creators of color who, I think they're Black, both are Black women. Reese is definitely Black. I'm not sure Shera's identification, but that's just to say, I like to say that because of the Cite Black Women movement. So I like to platform women of color's content as much as possible. Anyways, Sheraseven, Reese Ireland, both Black women. Sorry, Shera, if you don't identify as Black. Both Black women who say, stop wasting your time on broke-ass men. Stop wasting your time. Just focus on your money. And Shera especially is just focus on the money. Reese, and something I don't like about Shera, well, I do like this about Shera, because again, as a witch, I don't think you should always be telling the truth. I think it's a good idea to lie. My higher self, I want to be surrounded with people who I don't feel the need to lie to. And this is where my interest and love of Kat Blaque's content comes in, because Kat is surrounded by only people, well, for the most part, her 3 boyfriends, it's all honesty when it comes to Kat Blaque. I made a super cute video with a Venn diagram where I compare and contrast Shera and Kat Blaque as creators, what their philosophy is on dating and stuff like that. You should definitely go check out that video. But like one of the main differences between Kat and Shera is that Shera says you should lie and have 3 providers, and they shouldn't know about each other. You should not be having sex with these providers. You should just be getting money from them. You need to be dating like 15 plus years older. This is all in a heterosexual only context. Shera doesn't really touch on, Shera doesn't touch on anything besides like very strictly traditional heterosexual relationships for sugared babies who identify as female. She hates the word female, excuse me, as women. So identify as women who are the sugar babies, and then much older men who are the sugar daddies, generous providers. Shira says you must be lying to all three of them. And there's all kinds of mind games and manipulation that you should be doing. And again, I'm not judging. I actually really love her content as a witch. I don't subscribe to the 10 Commandments. I don't subscribe to you should never tell lies. You should never lie, cheat, steal, obey your parents. I don't subscribe to the 10 Commandments. I think you should do what the 10 Commandments tell you not to do. As an anarchist, as a leftist, as someone who wants to resist and sometimes violently resist the status quo of capitalism, patriarchy, and all the oppression and isms. So, Shira says lie. And I'm like, okay. And my love and lights, that's my witchy side, is 100% just aligned with Shira. My love and light side, really, and my higher self, I really do want to be in the situation that Kat's in, which is she has 3 boyfriends. They all know about each other. It's consensual, ethical, non-monogamy. I really want that. I want 3 boyfriends, providers that I can be honest with, who I am sexually attracted to, and we do have sexual relations. And there's just honesty, clarity, peace, joy, heaven on earth type of shit. So that's my love and light side. Until that comes to me, though, I have no shame in the Shira approach, which is lie to these men and just take their money. And so that brings me back to my current situation here at home. My dad is MAGA. He votes for Trump. I see it in his mail all the time. They set up cameras everywhere. So just police. They love the police. They love the military. American flags everywhere. It's just really sad, too, because my dad is from a colonized people, like the Chamorro people of Guam. My grandma speaks Chamorro natively. And so my few droplets of brown indigenous blood comes from my grandma, my paternal grandmother. And they are all very colonized. They are very assimilated. Like my grandma did not teach her children to speak Chamorro, and there's no real effort to spread the Chamorro community on my dad's side. It's all, for the most part, driven by like individual people like me. That's not 100% true. I guess some of my aunties encourage the speaking of Chamorro here and there, but not as much as they encourage other things like Christianity. Like, for the amount that my aunties would send Bibles and things about the saints and Catholicism for all that, and celebrate the 4th of July and the American flags and all of that, if they had pushed that amount of Chamorro culture on us, I would be fluent by now. But instead, they push Christianity, and so they are a very colonized type of Chamorro on my dad's side, and it's really sad. So yeah, living here at home with dad and sister is just like walking on eggshells for the most part. And I'm doing my best to follow Shira because, again, the honesty hasn't been working. I speak my truth, and often I get turned into the villain, right? I say, oh, hey, I'm the only one doing vacuuming. Can you guys contribute money or labor so that I'm not the only one? And then suddenly it's like, I am the one committing violence by asking this. So, yeah, it's just been really tough. And sometimes I wonder why I quit my PhD and moved back here, because at least I had distance from people who voted for Trump and don't understand racism and colonialism. I wish, and if they do watch these videos, great. Maybe you'll learn something. But it's just really tough. Basically being the matriarch of, I'm embracing it in some ways, being the matriarch here. I am the oldest assigned female at birth person with a womb, and I really apologize to any trans non-binary folk who don't like when people bring up their wombs, but I personally have a great connection with my body and my womb, even though I do identify as trans non-binary. I don't really experience body dysmorphia, And I do have spiritual beliefs that are connected to specific parts of my biology, including my womb. So I feel this connection. And also it comes from like the Chamorro indigenous side of, which was a matriarchal society. I feel a sort of humble pride, maybe not so humble, pride about being a matriarch on this land that I inhabit unjustly, which is supposed to be Kaiwasu land that was colonized and taken in 1849 by the U.S. government, forcibly removing and genocided the Kaiwasu people whose land I inhabit. So it's not even really my land that I inhabit, because I don't believe in private property as an anarchist. If I did believe in private property, it would belong to the Kaiwasu people. But I don't really believe in private property, so I don't know, I'm wrestling with that. But the bottom line is, I come to this land a lot. I live here, I sleep here, I cook here, my dogs are here. And so, as someone who stewards this land, I also accept the role of matriarch in some ways. Shira, go watch Shira's content, because she'll tell you that men are like children. I don't always subscribe to these beliefs about these gender essentialist beliefs that men are this and women are that. Sometimes, though, I do believe that these things when it comes to cisgender men and cisgender women in heterosexual patriarchal relations, or matriarchal relations. Shira, with that in mind, with the framework, Shira and a lot of other cis women in my life will say this belief, which is that a lot of men are not like emotionally developed, men are like children, etc., etc., etc. I definitely feel like that with my dad sometimes, or a lot, because when I bring up an issue and I'm fighting with my sister, for example, and I say, hey, Dad, my sister and I are fighting. My sister is doing things that I don't like. Can you help? He'll be like, keep the peace at all costs. And I finally spoke up to him about this. I said, how can I keep the peace when she is doing gross negligence by not doing her part of cleaning up, doing her recycling? It's gross negligence to just throw out unrinsed plastics, glasses, and cans. She will just throw these things away and not rinse them out when she could just take, 5 minutes from scrolling on her phone or watching TV, and rinse them out correctly. So Nicole from Pink Spots is another lefty neurodivergent creator you guys should follow. She's mentioned before, like, if the ableism that comes with demanding that people recycle correctly. I do think there's a limit, though, and this might be my witchy side coming in. I really do want to hear from more people about the problem with ableism and the witchy beliefs that I'm about to share, which is, if you believe that, Nicole has said, sometimes it's unacceptable to expect people with disabilities to recycle correctly or to eat vegan, or to do chores or take care of the house or things like that. In a lot of ways, I sympathize, but my witchy, unapologetic, violent side says, if you can't pull your weight, like, I don't want you in my presence. We need to find something else to make the distribution of labor and to make everyone happy with the situation. So if there, like, for example, what I'm trying to say is, if my sister is too disabled to do her recycling correctly, then, for example, she works a job that earns her like thousands of dollars. She's a bartender. So I know she does dishes and things on stuff on like that on her job. So if she can do that at her job and she can't do it here at home, I don't know. So if my sister can contribute, if she can't because she's disabled to do her recycling at home, can she contribute money to me who can do recycling at home? I bring these things up and I get laughed at, I get ignored, or I get painted as the villain. So I'm just really hoping that things can change. I've got my magic crystals and stones of protection here to help me. So I'm praying. I don't pray to the Christian God. I pray to Santa Muerte, and sometimes I pray to Mother Gaia. Anything but the Christian God, anything but Jesus, I don't. Jesus and the Christian God here in my hometown still do conversion therapy to gay people here in my town. Unacceptable. So no, that's an imported religion on colonized land. I boycott that. I do not pray to the Christian God or to their Messiah. No way. Until we get paid reparations, those deities have no place in my life. I decolonize that from my spiritual experience, and I don't really spend time, and I boycott and I take time away from creators and businesses who align with that. So anyways, where was I? Oh yes, disability and violence in witchcraft. Yeah, so I mean, if my sister's too disabled to do her chores at home, but then can go to work and get paid to do chores for somebody else, then she can definitely pay me to do the chores here at home. That's the bottom line. And I'm just really sick and tired of it being taken advantage of here at home, as not getting paid to do other people's vacuuming and recycling and picking up dog poop. So, and then getting painted as the villain for it. Yeah. So maybe I am the villain. I'm okay with being the villain, because I'd rather be the villain and have a clean house and the matriarch, a steward of this land, than be someone who keeps their mouth shut, keeps the peace like my dad would want. And why would we want a peaceful but dirty house? I would rather have I don't want a violent house, but so is a stand up for what you believe in clean house. My dad and sister, it seems like they want a dirty, so-called peaceful house, but I disagree with that, because if the house is dirty, that is violent, that is gross negligence. So they want a grossly negligent, dirty house where people just shut their mouths and don't stand up for what they believe in and people please each other. Yeah, that's the other thing. My sister, and maybe someday she'll listen to this, but you are a pick-me-sha. You are a pick-me-sha. You're a pick-me. You people please. You put your needs last. I mean, if you really loved yourself, you would come to me and say, yes, I want this house to be clean. I want to work together. I apologize for threatening you and threatening to ditch you and stuff like that. I know it happened a long time ago, but I know that's the reason you're not talking to me. Let's talk it out. If she was emotionally and mentally mature, that's what she would do. But instead, it's gross negligence. Call dad, set up cameras. I asked her, please treat me with respect. I gave her an ultimatum, which was, listen, if you can't apologize and you can't change the behavior of threatening to ditch me when we're out together, threatening to make me walk home, then I don't want to be your friend. But this has caused a problem because we still live together and I still have needs that are going unmet. So I have been still talking to her. I haven't been able to go completely no contact because she still dirties up the house. She still leaves the house open when it's 110 degrees out because she's inconsiderate. She has a air conditioner in her room, but I don't. So she just, again, leaves the dog poop, leaves the dog hair, and then doesn't do her recycling. So there's just communication is still, boundaries, communication, trying to make communication happen on the most basic level to have a clean house involves talking it out to some degree. And I struggle with this because my highest self doesn't talk to people who disrespect me and has that firm boundary. But my highest self also lives in a clean house. So it's a quandary where it's like completely ignore my sister and then do all her chores for her, or try to speak and talk it out with my sister so that we have more equitable chore distribution. And I haven't gone completely no contact. I've been choosing the talk it out with my sister to try to have a more equitable chore distribution. And I really, really, really do not want to do the emotional labor to apologize first, because I was always the person apologizing first. So I've just been choosing violence, and it has, because again, time to point out the real sinners. Like, if you cannot respect me when we are out and about together, and we are using your car to drive around to the smoke shop to do errands and groceries, if you cannot respect me by at least taking me home if we're in the middle of an argument, rather than threatening and saying, get out of the car and walk home right now, if you cannot basic respect, then I want nothing to do with you. I am done being the one apologizing first. It is your turn to be humble, to work towards a peaceful and clean house. Yes, our dad is actively working on getting us a housekeeper, but only coming once a month when you yourself said it needs to be vacuumed every day here. And I have been vacuuming almost every day or almost every other day, because if I don't, then my face gets covered in acne because of all the dog hair. You see this nice acne-free face? I have no makeup on. So I've been doing a radical self-care by, yes, vacuuming almost every day. And so our dad only wants to get a maid for once a month. And then I'm supposed to do all this work for free, cleaning up after you. I'm fine with cleaning up after myself. I will do my own cleaning, but the common areas, you never pick up the effing vacuum unless I explode with rage. That's the only time you will show me a little bit of respect. And they're MAGA too, which means they believe that Trump is good somehow. He's a pedophile, which means he rapes children. He's a racist, which means he would try to he would use ICE to terrorize and break up families of the people who are probably picking the produce and vegetables that you eat. But they don't even eat vegetables for the most part. My dad and sister eat freaking McDonald's and Subway and all this disgusting fast food. I'm over here vegan and organic. Get on my level or get the F out. Vegan and organic, and I make all my meals, and I cook for my dogs. They're getting organic eggs that I got free from Salvation Army. I'm vegan. I have some problems with, because it's like, I don't know. I don't have too much problems with giving my dogs non-vegan stuff. I don't have too many problems with that because it's Salvation. It's getting the stuff for free. So, yeah. One of my only escapes from this daily hell of living with dad and sister is being online. So I'm just really happy to finally be telling my story to my followers, my listeners. I know a lot of you subscribed for my Has Been Hotel karaoke video. That's awesome. I love my singers, all my singers on here. I love you guys very much. Thanks for subscribing. Please keep pushing those videos out. Help a small creator to achieve their dreams of moving to San Diego and joining the Pink Pony Club over there in San Diego. Definitely go check out my Pink Pony cover on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. But yeah. If you can relate to any of this bullshit, if you live with your family, if you dropped out of college because you're done with the colonizers' deadlines, but then found yourself in another toxic situation at home, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to relate to what's going on with you at home. Hit me with your questions and your thoughts about disability and being in favor of violence as a witch, like Peachkka or Andrea Dworkin. And now Xylo, you can add me to the list of love and light is for beginners beliefs. You can put me in with Peachkka, Andrea Dworkin, and Xylo. They are witches who sometimes use violence because we are so past anything legally being done to evict these pedophiles from power. So I'm just really liking this look with the hat and like my hair sort of coming through. So cute. Hit me with your questions about the conundrum I brought up earlier, like no contact, respect my boundaries. I don't want to be around people who are going to continue to threaten and abuse, but I'm not a victim, but I still deserve better treatment. Enforcing those boundaries and going no contact, but could that result in a dirty house that's going to cover my face in acne? And that's option B, which I haven't been choosing, and option A, which is minimum contact. As again, these people are MAGA. I do not want to be associated with that. So it's minimum contact to keep a clean house. Love to hear if anyone has experienced anything similar and what you're doing to manage it. I love hearing from artists. I love getting invites to do collabs. Jericho is a very good friend of mine. Follow Jericho on TikTok for cool acting videos and join their Discord, Jericho Central, for super cool competitions that just get you generating content that you can put onto your own channels. Like Jericho's the reason I made the Pink Pony Club on TikTok, and the reason I made my Not Safe for Work cover of I'll Be Your Idol from K-Pop Demon Hunters. So definitely check out Jericho's content, join the server for super fun, cool competitions that help you create more content. Jericho is a good friend of mine who is like always there to listen when shit is going awful here at home. So I definitely owe a lot of emotional support and feelings of belonging to that Discord community. Yeah. I'm not sure I have anything else to say. Just a lot of gratitude for this online space again, because this is where I feel like I can really open up my heart and be vulnerable and express myself to people who follow me and who want to see the best version of me, who want to see me on my come up, who just vibe with my content, who like the sound of my voice, who treat me with basic respect, who relate to the sorts of struggles that I'm going through, who maybe have experienced similar things, who definitely share my same political beliefs, who want to see land back continue, because we've had a lot of land back wins. Go check out positive leftist news from Mexi. We've had a lot of land back wins, which means returning land that was stolen from indigenous folks from in the US and Canada and maybe other places, but definitely US, Canada, returning that land back to them. So we are seeing land back happen in our lifetimes. And people who want to see more of that, people who hate Trump, pedophiles, witches who use violence to their advantage, witches who lie, steal, all kinds of good things like that. to resist the status quo of capitalist, patriarchal, genocidal oppression. Of course, we should be breaking all the 10 commandments which they have created to keep us in check, to keep us in line. Yeah. I don't want to hear from therapists or people who who work for big pharma and who are still too reliant and too loyal to Western colonial medicines, so-called practitioners, so-called mental health professionals. Those people, here's my payment information. You owe me and many other people like me reparations. I will accept anything as low as $500 to $10,000 for the damages that you have caused to my life, forcibly medicating me in your mental health so-called cages. Yeah, for caging me and forcibly medicating me, and otherwise using my personal information against my will, taking away my bodily autonomy, and many others like me. Here's my payment information. Go ahead and send that money right over. I don't want to hear from you. Please don't show up in my comments section. You will be deleted and blocked. But maybe we can be friends. Go ahead and send me some money and subscribe for more education, because you definitely need to educate yourselves at this point. It's unacceptable that people on YouTube are still saying, go get therapy. No, you know what? I understand why people say go get therapy, especially to cisgender men. Blaque has said it. Shira has said it, like, go get therapy. I get it. And at the same time, they will take away your bodily autonomy if your emotions are too, especially if you're a woman. I don't know if they probably do it to men too, but especially if you're a woman of color, I would say don't go to therapy. Find other ways, like talk to YouTube, find your people online, find alternatives. Because, yeah, I'm kind of tired of people saying go to therapy, because it's a carceral system. We need to be pointing people to other outlets that do not feed into and provide profits to big pharma. Stop telling people to go to therapy, because we need to be boycotting big pharma. Boycotting big pharma, not putting more profit into their pockets, not making it socially acceptable to cage people and take away their bodily autonomy. Yeah. We need alternatives that are not caging people. But I think that I have spoken enough. Thank you so much for holding space for everything I'm talking about. And I think I'll title this video something like my first vlog. I don't know. Maybe something about witchcraft and disability. Yeah. Love you guys. Keep waiting. Keep on getting hyped about the videos that are already out. Share them. Help a small YouTuber to grow nice and big, to earn that money, to get out of abusive situations. We can help each other out. Let's level up together. Let's reach our dreams together. Definitely donate to the channel if you like what you see. Leave some comments down below to feed the algorithm. And yeah, tell me what resonated with you, if you had any similar experiences of enjoying some family drama at home, and what you're doing to become your highest self, cuties. Until next time, bye.